Let's bring in Molly Hooper. She's a veteran Capitol Hill reporter. Thanks so much for joining us.
Of course.
First, Trump has hired an all-star team, people with a lot of TV experience. What do you make of that?
Well, I think there's going to be several things going on in this trial, and there are different audiences. And I think one of the audiences that will be very important in how this whole thing plays out is Donald Trump. And he wants to see his defenders, his defense team, make a vociferous argument that he did nothing wrong, he should not be impeached. And, he's going to demand that they do so in a way that will captivate, not only his voters, but independent voters who aren't really sure whether or not what the president did was an impeachable offense.
Democrats want to hear from John Bolton, the former national security advisor to Donald Trump. They say if Trump has nothing to hide, he should let Bolton speak. Republicans say you had your own hearings in the House. You could have called him then. What do you make of that?
Well, this is not your normal criminal trial. It's not even a civil trial in the United States. There isn't necessarily a jury of your peers. These are members of the Senate who are going to be making this decision on whether or not to hear from these witnesses. So as opposed to this being so impartial and fair as each senator is supposed to be, this is very much a political trial. And whatever the senators hear back home from their constituents, especially the senators who are up for re-election this year, that's kind of the way that they're going to vote. And that's why when your correspondent said there's 4 Republican senators that if they peel off and vote to hear from those witnesses are going to have to testify. Well, that's important because there are 4 Republicans who have expressed an interest in hearing more from witnesses. But again, it's really going to what's going to matter is what those senators are hearing on the ground at home from their constituents.
And the polls I saw of those constituents suggest that they do want to hear from witnesses, which is why these senators are doing this.
Exactly.
The House has impeached Trump. Now that is something that will stay with him forever. Yeah. They have the second part, the Senate trial. By all accounts, he's going to be acquitted. For our international viewers, why is this second part important?
Well, the second part is important because the challenge is in the House of Representatives is the closest representative body we have to the people. They represent a fixed number of individuals in their state, and again, it's known for sort of brawling and being fiery and following the passions of their constituents, whereas the Senate is known as the cooling saucer. You have 100 senators who are elected in 2 of each state, and they sort of are removed more so from the people. So again, like I said, cooling saucer. And what happens is when the House impeaches a president, that's one thing, but to actually remove a duly elected president of the United States, it will require a much higher bar. And, commentators here have equated the situation to an indictment, like a criminal indictment. A grand jury, they say a prosecutor who goes into an indictment or goes into a grand jury can essentially indict a ham sandwich. Whether that individual gets convicted is up to a jury, and that bar is a lot higher, which is the same as in the Senate.
As this plays out this week, starting on Tuesday, is it helping or hurting Trump 2020 re-election campaign?
That's a good question. I think that it depends on who you speak with. In terms of, help and hurt, here's how this is going to matter. Will it energize Trump voters to get to the polls in 2020? That's the key. And if Trump voters believe that the Democrats are overstepping their bounds and they're getting out to, they have some sort of vendetta about this president, and this really isn't an impeachable offense, that will energize Trump voters to get to the polls. Will it energize Democratic voters? Again, that's the key. And it's really time will tell.
And a few Democratic senators, of course, would rather be in Iowa this week than in Washington.
Well, of course, because Iowa, for the foreign viewers out there who don't know, Iowa is a very grip and grab state for campaigning because the way that these Iowa caucuses work, senators have to be presidential candidates have to be on the ground to get to know people individually. It's something that voters in Iowa expect. They've expected it for the past however many 50-some-odd years of the Iowa caucus. And so having to stay back in the Senate and not be allowed to go to Iowa and actually meet with all these voters, that can be very detrimental to your presidential campaign.
All right, Molly Hooper, thank you for your insight.